All right, so as I said, there's a lot of things to do in order to optimize a GMB listing. So we're looking right now at my entire list of formulas, and you can see there's a lot of them here. There's a lot that I do. So let's go ahead though and start with citations, because citations are one of the most important things that you need to have done in order to move your listing forward, okay? So there's three kinds of citations that you need to have built to rank your listing, okay? So those are called master citations, niche citations, and location-specific citations. So we're gonna first start with the master citations, all right? So let me open this formula up and show you what's involved here. So master citations are all of your top kind of sites, okay? When I say top kind of sites, I mean sites that are very authoritative, okay? So what I like to do is I like to have a list of all of these top sites. So anytime I have a new project, a new client, a new lead generation site that I'm working on, I just go to that same list and have those citations built. Okay? Rather than reinventing the wheel and trying to find what we're supposed to be doing, it's far better that we just have it attached to this formula, and you can see that we've got a list of all the master citation sites. All right, so if we go through them here, there is over 100 of these, okay, and these are the kind of sites that you would recognize. Okay, you've probably had these built or built these before. Sites like Yelp and Super Pages, Yellow Pages, Foursquare, okay? Very high authority sites, but it's important to know that these are not related to your niche or to your location. We call them master citations because you want to just do them on every single project that you do, regardless of the size of the city or the competitiveness of the niche, okay? So you can see there's a lot of those sites. Now, you don't want to build these all at once, okay? So that's why I rely on the formula to guide me on when I should have things built, all right? So if we look at my schedule for this formula, you're going to see that every week, so every 7 days, I'm actually having citations built from this master list, okay? And I'm doing this for 6 weeks in a row. So basically every week, I'm going to have 20 citations built from this master list until that whole master list is completed, all right? So what that's going to do is it's going to give me a nice natural drip of links rather than blasting them all out at once. Especially if you have a newer site or a new GMB, it makes a lot of sense to drip these out because you don't want Google seeing just this massive flood of links and then not seeing anything after that. That is definitely a spam signal. So it's more important that you keep the momentum up versus doing some huge spike and then doing nothing at all after that. So by having this set up in a formula, every single week, it's just going to get done, and we're not going to forget, oh, wait a second, we were supposed to do these links and not these ones. So drip them out over 6 weeks, and about 20 a week is what I go with, okay? So the next kind of citation that you need to be having done is what I call a niche citation, all right? So if we look at the niche citations, these are going to be a smaller list, okay? And the reason why is for your niche, there's not going to be 100 websites for you to submit to. There might only be 5 or 10, okay? So in this formula, we have a task to build niche citations from our list. So if you don't have lists already, I would suggest assembling or getting lists for yourself of all the major niches that you're going to work in, because if you have a client, let's say, who's a roofing company, or you're doing a roofing company lead generation campaign, if you're going to do more than one GMB or more than one city, then every time you go back and do another listing, you're reinventing the wheel, okay? So having the list will allow you to just keep going back to that same well and going, all right, build those same roofing sites again, build those same roofing sites again. And that's one of my secrets for scaling is I don't go out and try to find these things over and over again. When I have a new roofing GMB that I want to rank in another city, I just go back to my same list and have those same roofing sites built again, and I get the same result. And I don't have to spend all that time researching what links are supposed to be built, okay? And the key with citations really as well is you don't need to blindly follow what your competitors are doing, because a lot of times they only have a few really good citations anyway, and a lot of them are just low quality ones that have been picked up over the years that aren't really contributing to their rankings, right? So the ones that are contributing to their rankings are either the high authority ones, niche ones, meaning Google can see that that site is exactly about the same niche that you're trying to rank for. So it's very relevant and that helps you out. And seeing the same location that you're trying to rank for, which we'll talk about those in a second. So if we look at the list that we want to build, right? I just keep these lists because it saves me a lot of time when I want to go back and rank them again. And for example, roofing, I've got a list here of maybe 20 or so good roofing websites, right? So I can go to these roofing websites, and I've pulled up a couple of them for us here just to look at them. Some are going to be free to submit to, some are going to be paid. But like this one here, handyroofers.com, this is one of the ones in my formula list, and it's only $11.95 to submit to. Okay, that's a one-time fee that I'm going to pay to this website, and I'm going to be now on handyroofers.com. That's very relevant for what I want to rank for. Another site here, handymanwire.com, a one-time fee of $5, all right? And I'm going to be on this website. A lot of my competitors won't even be on here, okay? So why I do those is it's a super boost of relevance for the exact niche that I want. So whatever niches you're working in, start assembling those lists of the proven sites that you can just go back to time and time again. And so you can keep ranking more GMBs in the same niches, right? Rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. So for those of you that are working in a defined local area and maybe not working in the same niches over and over again, this next thing is really going to help you out, okay? Because one of the other formulas that I use is the location-specific citations, okay? So I do all of these. You don't just have to do, just one. I mean, if it's a really tiny town, sure, you could probably get away with just doing the master citations, but if it's a decent sized city and it's a decently competitive niche, you want to do master, location, and niche. That's what's going to give you the edge. It's the extra things, okay? So let's go ahead now and look at the location specific citations, all right? We talked about niche, we talked about the master citations. Let's go ahead and actually pull up my location specific citations. So let me just search this, location specific citations. All right, so let's go to this one. You can see the model for this formula is very, very similar to the niche one. We're not dripping these out every single week because it's a small list. So when we look at this formula, it's just going to have all the steps to do this one time. This doesn't repeat at all, okay? So if we look now at an example of a niche or a location specific list, let's look at the city of Dallas, all right? I just pulled that as an example, but if we wanted to rank this roofing company in Dallas, you can see there's lots of Dallas sites here that we can submit to that I've accumulated over the years. So I pulled a couple of them up here. This first one, totally free to submit to, Dallas Fort Worth Business Directory. Next one here is called Dallas City Directory, and I've seen this one pop up a lot of times. And this is how I've assembled these lists, is just by seeing the same directories kind of over and over again in a city and just adding them to my lists over the years. So I've compiled a lot of these. But this is a great one to submit to, and you can see down here, cost of the standard listing is $20, one-time only payment, right? So we can go get that roofing company, let's say, onto this Dallas directory for $20. Now there's going to be free directories as well. I submit to the free ones and I submit to the paid ones because it's going to be an edge. For instance, one of my students, what he did was he came to me and said, Matt, I'm on page 5 for this client. I'm about to lose them, all right? He was worried the client was going to bail because it had been, I think, maybe 3 months or 6 months, and he hadn't gotten them to page 1 yet. They were down on page 5. He did social profiles, he did Web 2.0s, he did PBNs, he tried all this stuff that he had normally done, but it wasn't getting the job done. I told him what I would use is my niche specific formula. Now, there's not a lot of sites out there for fishing charters. That's what this site was about, but there was 2 that he got built. So he followed the formula, got 2 built. Within 1 week, he jumped from page 5 to the bottom of page 1. Client was ecstatic, could see the light at the end of the tunnel and stuck with him, okay? So that's the thing. Just sometimes a couple links can give you the boost that you need, all right? So That's citations for you. In the next video, we're going to jump into location supporting pages. This is one of my tricks in order to really push a listing up when you're in a competitive city or a competitive niche, all right? You may not need it all the time, but I do it anyway, so I know for sure I'm going to hit those top spots, okay? So click next, go to that next video, and I will see you there. All right, so welcome back. One of my most powerful formulas called location relevant supporting pages is what we're going to cover next. All right, so let's pull up that formula together now. I'll just search for it here. Here we go. So location supporting pages. Why is this so powerful? Well, have you ever tried ranking a GMB or a website and you came up short? Like you did everything that you knew how to do and there was just like somebody ahead of you and you couldn't figure out why they're outranking you, right? It's like, it makes no sense why this guy is outranking me. It's not fair. Well, I've been there. It used to just tick me off, right? I would do what I knew how to do and I just wouldn't be able to outrank somebody. Well, a lot of times it's because I wasn't doing everything that I knew. Like I knew the techniques, but I wasn't getting them all done. See, there's so many little things that you can do, but what happens is as we take on different projects, right, you get a client, you start working on their site, and then you get another client, right? And as you're working on their site, all of a sudden, it's been a month or two, and you've forgotten where you were at with that first client. Or you did some things right away, and you had really good intentions about building more links and adding some more content for them. And you got so busy, excited about this other deal that you're getting, that this one now is in jeopardy because you've neglected it, right? So we've all been there where you're like scrambling to try and save that project or save that client or get it to where it needs to be because you got busy focused on something else. So that's going to be one of your biggest challenges to overcome in SEO. It was one of the toughest things for me was how do I stay on track and how do I keep moving things forward? And especially when you're like juggling like all these different balls at the same time and forgetting that you still need to keep this one going as you're getting this one going, all right? So it's kind of like a little circus sometimes as you keep everything moving forward without forgetting to do the little things or have those little things done for you in your other projects that are happening at the same time. So this is one of those formulas that is maybe non-essential to some people. I use it every single time. Is it overkill? Maybe for the easy niches, it's overkill, but I don't ever look at anything as like easy or hard. I come to the game and I bring all of my formulas. I do everything in my power possible and have it all done because you know what? If I overkilled and I got to the top of page 1 and I did it with maybe a little more resources than I need to, and now I'm just there and it's going to be that much tougher for somebody to push me out of that top spot. So this is one of my favorite formulas for doing that. I use it on everything. Location supporting pages. What is it exactly? Well, in a gist, it's building additional pages on your site that link to your target page in order to give it some more relevance. This is no external links at all. It's purely just helping Google understand a little bit more of what your site is about. One of the best ways that I can give you an example of is one site that's actually using this very successfully, that I did, in order to rank it. All right, so I just pulled up one of the search terms. This ranks for a ton of search terms, but this is a location right here ranking for insulation. Okay, so here is this insulation listing. You can see here that it's also #1 organic. Okay, but what a lot of people don't see behind the scenes is some internal pages that I built that are linking to that page. All right, so we have a page here that's all about insulation contractors in Yonkers, New York. Now, if we actually go look into the site here, what's behind the scenes, you can see there's that insulation page, but see, then there's also some other pages here. Like, look at this page. Famous people from Yonkers, New York, okay? What is that all about? Let's just go click into that and see what that is, all right? This is actually just an article on the website all about famous people from Yonkers, New York. What's that have to do with insulation? It really has nothing to do with insulation, but it's another page on our website all about Yonkers, New York, okay? And then there's a link inside of this article right here. You can see it says Yonkers, New York. And when I click that, it actually takes me over to the target page, which is the insulation contractors Yonkers, New York page that I showed you. Okay, so that's all this is building additional pages like this in the site and linking them over to your target page. Now, the formula that I use for this is 4 articles, 400 words each. Okay, so why I like using the formula for this is because I can just specify the 4 articles that I want. I can get them done and get them posted on the website, and I don't have to think about what those topics are going to be. They're already all predefined for me right here. Things to do in Yonkers, New York, history of Yonkers, New York, annual events, famous people, and the city will just get plugged into here no matter what city that we're talking about. So I typically rank a lot of cities for my clients, right? And when I do lead generation, I want to take over a lot of areas. So by using these pages done this way, I don't have to think about what it is that I need to be doing. I just get those 4 articles written, get them posted on the site, link them all over to my target page, and that's all that needs to happen. Let Google find those pages, and you're going to see you get a nice boost from that. Why does it work so well? Well, a lot of times when we're targeting multiple locations on a site, we just don't have that much relevance for that city, okay? You're going to see that theme of relevance a lot as we go forward, but getting more relevance for that city is going to help you. And I do this for every city that I want to rank for. So I may do this multiple times in my site if I'm targeting multiple cities. Okay, so that's the formula for that. Go ahead and apply it. You're going to see, especially in those tougher niches or in larger cities, this is going to give you an edge amongst everything else that you're doing. Okay, so hit next and go to the next lesson. All right, what's next? Reviews. Now, some people will say that reviews do not matter in terms of rankings. Well, whether they matter or not, what I'm going to show you is reviews do dramatically help your conversions, meaning how many people are actually clicking on your listing and going to your website or calling you, right, or calling your client. So why reviews are so powerful is it can help you, even if you're not in the very top spot in the maps, to still be pulling calls, even if you're in the 3rd spot as you're working your way up to number 1. So from that aspect, reviews are very important. Now, as you probably realize, it's very tough for a lot of clients to get reviews. Like, they may do a fine job, but getting their actual customers to leave them a review can sometimes be tricky, all right? And while there may be strategies for getting more reviews, what I like to do is provide a supplement to jumpstart the review process, okay? Now, some people are comfortable with this and some people are not, but I'm just going to show you what actually works, and it's up to you whether you want to try to just get only legit reviews or if you're all right with supplementing and getting additional reviews, okay? Quote, fake reviews. Now, if you're doing lead generation, this is going to be essential for you. If you're doing client work, you may want to supplement with this as you get, quote, real reviews as well, okay? That being said, let me show you my formula for reviews, okay? Now, I have several different formulas for reviews based on how many reviews I want to get and how long I want to get them for. So the biggest thing I advocate for you with reviews is don't just go like buy some reviews or get your client to do a bunch of reviews and then forget about it. The thing with reviews is you need to be consistent. It looks very odd to Google if all of a sudden you go get yourself 10 reviews in a day and then nothing happens for months thereafter, okay? It's very obvious that those reviews were all garnered probably on purpose, okay? So what I would suggest is getting a process together for yourself where you can drip these reviews out. Now, if that means you're having to continually contact clients and try to get them to leave your reviews, that's one thing. to me, that's not very scalable. So what I like to do is jumpstart all of my clients. And if I'm doing this for lead generation, I just do it automatically. Is I go ahead and get a month of reviews all scheduled out, okay? So if we look at this formula, what this involves first is getting 8 reviews written, okay? So obviously somebody's actually got to know what the review text is going to be. And once that review text is written, then we can actually take that review text and post it to the specific business, all right? Now the key here is, again, you don't want to do these all at once. So what I'm doing is I'm having the reviews posted every 7 days, and I'm doing this in this particular formula for 4 repetitions. So that would mean basically every 7 days, 4 times. So basically it's a month worth of reviews dripped out, okay? Now, what that's going to do for me is it's going to give me at least 8 5-star reviews. So if there's not a lot of reviews or any reviews there to start, it's going to give me 8. Or if there's some reviews there, it's going to give me 8 more and help to bring that score up, okay? So we're actually looking at a real example right now here, which is for a term landscaping, New Rochelle, and this also is the same kind of situation for many, many other cities. But this is one that I pulled for you as an example. All right, so if you look at this here, and this actually happens to be a client of mine, the very first listing here, it's got 13 reviews, okay? Handful of real reviews, also supplemented with some others, okay? Now, if you look at the other listings that are here, which are you most likely to click on? Okay, now you'll probably agree that this would be the most likely one that you'll click on. But let's just say that this listing was down here even in the 3rd spot, okay? And that the other ones here did not have those reviews. Some people will actually click on that 3rd listing if it actually had reviews. So even if you're not in the top spot, getting reviews right away at the beginning of your campaign is really important because it's going to give you those clicks. It's going to give you that interaction, which will show Google people like your listing. That will help push it up, okay? So this is a very foundational thing, but it's a simple thing. Get reviews at the beginning of your campaign. However you got to get them, because this person here, while they may have a decent website, without reviews, nobody's really going to click on them, or it's only going to get clicked on after they've clicked on these ones. And this guy here sitting here with 4 stars would do well to get a few more reviews so he looks better relative to this listing. So no matter where you're at in the map pack, more reviews will get more people clicking on your listing, which will then help your engagement, which will push you up even higher. So I do those right away, get those started at the beginning of a campaign. And again, spreading these out so you can kind of set and forget them works a lot better than trying to just blast them all at once and then not have anything coming in thereafter. All right, so that's it for reviews. Get them at the beginning of your campaign and have them dripped out naturally instead of blast. It will really help you out, okay? I will see you in the next day's training. Stay tuned.